Senator Tester.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member, for holding this hearing, and Administrator Regan, thank you for being here. I appreciate you coming before the committee today. Look, as a farmer, somebody whose family's been on this land since it broke for over 114 years, I know the value of clean air and clean water. There's just no doubt about that. But I will tell you that the rules that come out of Washington, D.C. have to be rooted in reality. If you can't meet them, it really is it's a huge problem. And that's why I want to talk a little bit today about the MATS rule. Mm-hmm. Now, in this rule, you acknowledge that the only power plant this is really affecting is one in Colstrip, Montana, okay? That's the only one. You also acknowledge it will take hundreds of millions of dollars to meet the standards, and this is a power plant with a public depreciation date of 2042. You and I both know there's no way they make hundreds of millions of dollars in investment in a power plant that has that depreciation date. I would just tell you that when it comes to jobs, when it comes to this community, when it comes to power, this is all really important as we try to meet that happy medium between clean air and clean water, okay? But in your rule, you also provide additional flexibilities. I want to flesh that out a little bit. These are for additional flexibilities to bring sources into compliance. It doesn't go into detail what these are. So my question to you is what are, and don't filibuster me, I know you won't, but what are these additional flexibilities?
Well, and I won't filibuster. I'll say that the flexibilities that are in there are, number one, different types of control technology options and combinations. Yep. Timing, and looking at some of the unique aspects of the state of Montana. We have had direct conversations with this facility.
Yes.
And what I will say is I'm not quite sure if my team would agree that it would take $100 million of investment. I think if our teams, your team, are talking with this facility and we look at these combinations of control technologies that we've helped other states do, like Kentucky and Oklahoma, I believe that we can get there.
Okay. And then the question becomes, can we get there and still have it so that when it turns 40 below zero, we got power? You know, unfortunately, because of climate change, we don't have those times very often anymore, but we had one last winter. Yeah. And you know what happens with peak power prices and things like that, and if you don't have the juice, I'm telling you, it's over with. You got big costs. So my question, is there any thought, since this only impacts one power plant in the United States, the whole damn country, just one power plant, of potentially moving the date forward and giving some flexibility to maybe 2032?
Well, let me say I think it does impact more than one. But listen,
no, the rule actually points out it impacts one.
Yeah, 93% of coal plants in this country we believe will be able to meet.
Yeah, this is the one that won't.
Let me say this. I'd love for our staffs to talk. Okay. Because they've been having some very technical conversations, and I do believe there's a path forward.
We need to visit. Now, I want to make something really clear. I talked to a lot of people about this. There's nobody that said, let's just throw the rule out. We think this rule is a bunch of garbage and we should throw it out. All of them said, I see what they're trying to do. They just need to understand that a one-size-fits-all rule doesn't necessarily work all the time, okay? And so if you're willing to work with my staff and we're willing to move this thing forward in a way that really ensures both climate, find that sweet spot, ensures both climate stability and energy stability without totally torching this community, it'd be a big win for everybody, okay?
Sounds good to me.
We thank you for that. This is really, really important. And I get it. I mean, I get it. I understand climate. I mean, I've been through two of the worst droughts I've ever had on our farm, and that's in 114 years, okay? And we're still ain't out of it, by the way. It could be another one this year, and hope not, but it looks like it might be. So making sure that this stuff works for everybody is really, really, really important. appreciate you. My time's run out. I want to talk about Superfund sites too, but we'll do that when we come in and talk about MATS, okay?
That sounds great, Senator. Thank you.